question number 2 comes in from Beth. Hi there, Beth. Thanks for the question here. So Beth asks, how long should I expect the conveyancing process to take on my property? Our offer was accepted at the end of September. We've had our mortgage offer. We paid the solicitors to start the searches. There's no chain. I was told by my solicitor today that it will take another 12 to 14 weeks from now. Is this normal? He said the property lies with the seller's solicitor. He said the problem lies with the seller's solicitor, who is taking forever to respond. This has also been confirmed by the seller, who says they get an answer phone message most days. They try calling and they haven't once responded to their emails. I've never bought a property before, but is this normal behavior of a seller's solicitor? Mine seems okay and is just as frustrated as we are. Is there anything we can do to shorten the timescale? Right. Sorry to hear this, Beth. I see so many questions of a similar ilk come in, Beth, and also online in different forums where people are frustrated as heck with the process, and it's no sympathy, or sorry, it's no solution to your problem here that you're not on your own in all of this. But there is a shortcut to this process, Beth, and the reason I'm going to suggest this is because the issue with you buying this property now is it's not just a monetary issue. It then becomes, shall we say, a sanity or a health issue, because battering your head up against a wall with solicitors who don't answer their emails or don't return phone calls can become excruciatingly painful and drive everybody mad in the process. So if I was in your shoes, Beth, and I wanted to move this deal forward quickly, what I would actually offer to do is to save yourself months of frustration and headaches by offering to part pay or pay 50% of the seller's legal bill if and only if they use a solicitor of your choosing. Okay, now what that means is the seller would change horses as far as their solicitors are concerned and move to another practice, perhaps the same solicitor that you're using at the moment, or maybe, come to us and we'll give you a recommendation of somebody that will fast track this deal through for them. But the point is, the seller is going to be in the same situation, and they're going to be frustrated that, they might have paid their solicitor some money on an account, and then they feel, oh, I'm going to lose this 200 quid or this 300 quid, whatever it is that they've already paid their solicitor, if they change horses. Now, you're offering to step in and say, look, I'll pay 50% of your legal bill if and only if you'll use the solicitor that I recommend, which is either my solicitor or one that we recommend as WiggyWam, if you want to go down that route. And the point is that by doing that, you're going to fast track this deal through to completion as quickly as possible. And it could be that you get it done within 6 weeks. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to be in before Christmas, because that's, what are we looking at, just over 3 weeks away now. But the point is, you will move it a lot quicker than you ever will in the sort of situation that you're in. And 12 to 14 weeks is a guesstimate. It might be longer. And I'm hearing stories now of some solicitors that only check their email once a week. And the reason they're doing that is because they're either overburdened, or they just don't simply care, or they've got more pressing work on, or there could be other problems going on within the practice that you and I don't need to worry ourselves with, because ultimately where you are, you just want this deal done as quickly as possible and then to get moved on. So offering to stump up 500 to say 700 quid might seem a bit gut wrenching and a bit kind of, oh, I don't really want to do that. And I get it, but the point of doing it is to kind of free up this logjam, and you're doing it on a performance basis, which means you don't pay the money until the deal has actually completed. And it would come out of the completion statement at the end of the deal, where the solicitors will, you'll write it into the deal, this is what I'm prepared to pay, and then the solicitors will do a transaction at the end of the deal where the seller solicitor gets paid out of the funds that you send over when you buy the property. Okay, hope that makes sense. And it will oil the wheels on getting the deal done quickly. And by making it a success fee, you're not liable to paying that money up front. So the seller has the fallback that you'll be covering this cost, even if they have to pay some extra money on account to the new solicitor to get them started on the selling of their property with the new solicitors. Okay, so hope that gives you some guidance, Beth. That's exactly what I would do, because otherwise you could be in a never-ending situation here, waiting and waiting and waiting. And the problem in my experience, I'm not saying this is for all solicitors, but the problem in my experience with these sorts of solicitors is they've generally charged a low price, or they've offered to charge a very low price. They've attracted a lot of work because of the low price, and then they just can't handle the burden of all the extra work that goes on with that conveyance. And I'm going to say something that probably a lot of solicitors will kick back on me over this, but it's largely due to, shall we say, a lack of self-esteem. And there we are, I said it. So I'm expecting the email inbox to go crazy now with people saying you can't say that, but it's largely due to a lack of self-esteem to being able to charge more for the service that they're offering. Okay, and when they believe in themselves that actually it is worth a seller or a buyer paying £1,000 or £1,200 or £1,500 for their service, that's what's going to help them to have the time, or to be able to dedicate the time to each case file and to get the deal done as quickly as possible for their client, because ultimately it's about service to the client. And there is this mistaken belief, and I see it time and time and time again in the property industry, from some estate agents and from, shall we say, more lawyers than estate agents, that the general public won't pay extra money or a higher figure to receive these services from solicitors and estate agents. And the frustrating part from the client's point of view, and we've seen this thousands of times, if not hundreds of thousands of times, where clients would willingly pay more, okay? But the problem is they don't know what they're receiving for their money, okay? They're being asked to take this blind leap of faith into employing somebody when they don't know what they're going to get for the money. They don't know how long the transaction is going to take. And there's a lack of commitment from the professional employed to explain the process to them in, shall we say, terms that a 5-year-old would understand, but which a seller or a buyer would understand, because they're not in this game every day. They're not buying and selling properties every day. They move house every 7, 14, 21 years, and the whole process is alien to them. They haven't got a clue what a TA6 and a TA10 is. It might be something that, as far as they're concerned, a plumber carries around in their toolbox. They don't know. And that's not to chastise buyers and sellers, but if the client doesn't know what they're getting for their money, why should they be expected to pay more for the service? And the biggest breakdown I'm seeing in agents and solicitors selling their services to their clients is they're not explaining effectively what the client is going to get for their money, and therefore the client doesn't know the difference between a good and a bad service until they're actually living it and they're going through it, and then they vent their frustration on online forums and questions like this that we get through, Beth, where they're saying, this is driving me mad. What do I do about it? I need some help. And I firmly believe that a lot of these problems could be solved, not through necessarily technology, not through necessarily more people, but actually by charging a fair rate, which would allow the solicitor to spend the time and dedicate the time that they need to on the file to get the job done for their client, and so that they can actually make a living from the work that they're doing. So hope that helps, Beth. If you do need recommendations for solicitors that are going to fast track the deal through for you, let me know. More than happy to put you in touch with people who can do this in 6 weeks or so, especially as you're not in a chain. I mean, I have known situations where this is done in 3 days, depending upon whether you've got your mortgage offer. So yeah, I mean, if you've got that in place, it could be done inside of 7 to 14 days comfortably. Okay, but not a lot of solicitors will tell you that. So if you're struggling, come and talk to us again, Beth. I'll be more than happy to point you in the right direction and get that deal over the line ASAP. All right. Good luck. So guys and girls, thank you for all of your amazing questions. Really appreciate you sending them through. As always, if you've got any questions, concerns, comments, feedback, please feed them through to us. The email address is happytohelp@wiggywam.co.uk. That's happytohelp@wiggywam.co.uk. You can also view past webinars and individual questions from past webinars on our website. If you go to wiggywam.co.uk, that's wiggywam.co.uk, and click on the broadcasts section at the top of the menu bar there, you'll get access to all of the previous editions of these webinars that we've done if you're finding them useful and helpful, or if you've got any feedback at all. You can feed that back through us through the website, and you can also, there's options for depending upon who you are, whether you're an estate agent, conveyancer, removals company, surveyor, any of those people, you can have options to join WiggyWam and join the WiggyWam community and deliver your excellent services to our user database there as well. You can also get in contact with us through Twitter. Our Twitter handle is at WiggyWam_UK. That's at WiggyWam_UK. And as always, we welcome any kind of questions, comments, feedback from our WiggyWam community, you amazing guys and girls out there who are supporting the revolution in the property market. And as always, if you would be so kind as to share this with your friends and family, if you want to invite them to a future webinar in the future, we'd love to see you here live, or by all means, you can share this information with them if they're thinking about moving house. As you know, let them know that we're here as a resource that they can tap into and plug into with any of the questions or concerns that they may have. All right. And don't forget, with Christmas just around the corner, get yourself a copy of Home Buyers Secrets, or pass this on to anybody who you know is looking to move home over the course of the next 12 to 18 months. It's an invaluable resource. Even if I do say so myself, I put my heart and soul into this book. And I firmly believe it's there as a guide to really help and support anybody who's looking to move, to help you negotiate a great deal on your next home, to help protect your interests in terms of things going wrong. And they always do when it comes to buying or selling property. Your entire journey is mapped out within this book, and it's really going to help you. So as I say, homebuyerssecrets.co.uk is the website where you can grab a copy of that book, also get access to the online training course as a point of value for getting that book as well. So thanks ever so much indeed for joining us here, guys. I look forward to seeing you on a future webinar very, very soon indeed. And I'm going to say good night and God bless you all, and look forward to seeing you again soon. All right, you take care. Bye-bye.